Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter. Hello, fine folks. This is Freedom Fighter, and welcome to Goldilocks Global Banking News. I am your host. Fine folks, let me tell you, it is amazing how many members are consistently, and I know you are like, dang, Freedom Fighter says this every podcast. Yes, every single day. Multiple members announcing their appointments with Tier 1 banks, wealth managers, accounts being set up, trust accounts being set up for free. Listen, where people have paid $3,000, upwards of $6,000 for trusts. The members in the Goldilocks room are not being charged at all by the wealth managers or the Tier 1 banks. Why do you think that is? Why do you think our members are able to do this? Are able to get trust accounts set up for free? These are trusts, ladies and gentlemen, so that when people go to exchange their currency, they move the money, they're going to move it into these trust accounts to minimize their tax implications. And also these trusts will pass down generational wealth. If the members in the Goldilocks room are doing this, why are you not? If you click the link in top of the description and you join the Goldilocks QFS Dialogues room, you can take the 8 steps and maybe you will also get to the point of establishing your relationships and trust accounts set up for your exchanged funds as well. Goldilocks is sharing some very important information today about Iraq. The last call we had with the CBI last Sunday, there was a discussion about the digital dinar. Folks, you may have been hearing different things about the digital dinar. You're now going to finally hear what it really means and what it really means for us. Let's jump right into it by Goldilocks. The digital dinar, ladies and gentlemen, is expected to be backed by the Central Bank of Iraq. I'm going to repeat that. The digital dinar will be backed by the Central Bank of Iraq. This will shift control back to Iraq so that they'll be able to control the Iraqi dinar. Now, you all are aware that the paper dinar, which many of us have, and you pay attention to this, listen carefully. The paper dinar that we have, many people around the world, and including, of course, those that are located within Iraq, have a ton of Iraqi dinar, the paper. When a country's currency is backed by its central bank, just like the dinar is backed by the CBI, this means that the central bank manages the supply of the dinar. They set the monetary policy of the dinar. And they can use digital currency, otherwise known as a CBDC. Well, what is a CBDC? Central Bank Digital Currency. CBDC is a central bank digital currency. Oh my God, Freedom! This takes away our privacy. This has nothing to do with Americans. A CBDC, central bank digital currency, or a central bank digital dinar, is relative to the Central Bank of Iraq conducting transactions with other central banks in a digital form. Why? Because a central bank conducts business with other central banks in the new digital economy. They will utilize digital currencies in the digital economy. See, there's a difference between a retail CBDC and a wholesale CBDC, central bank digital currency. You must understand the investment that you have. So a retail central bank digital currency is if you and I or someone within the streets of Iraq were to go to the local branches to conduct business and they had to deal with digital currencies. A wholesale CBDC is where the Central Bank of Iraq, for example, is doing business with the Central Bank of Vietnam. That's a wholesale. Or if the Central Bank of Iraq is doing business and transactions with the Federal Reserve in the United States, which is our central bank, that's a wholesale central bank digital currency transactions. What Iraq is doing has nothing to do with, per se, the retail or the people on the street of Iraq, and absolutely it has nothing to do with you and I as Americans or anyone around the world who holds paper dinar. This digital currency, or the central bank digital currency, CBDC, that Iraq is creating, it benefits us. Why? Because this is a way for the Central Bank of Iraq to control the Iraqi dinar around the world even more, because they want to get the paper dinars off of the street and into the digital banking system. Once the revaluation of the dinar and other currencies occur, but let's just stick on the Iraqi dinar. Once the RV happens and all your currencies and our currencies around the world are revalued and people go into the banks and exchange them, all of those currencies and their values will have a digital transaction into the digital banking system, whereby the Central Bank of Iraq will be able to tabulate, audit, calculate every single paper currency that's been exchanged into a digital form. But they won't be able to do that in its totality until the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar and the paper currency. Now, no, that doesn't mean that they're going to wait for the RV to administer the central bank digital currency in a digital dinar. No, they're in the process right now. This actually benefits us in more preparation to show that Iraq is now at the phase of transitioning into the new digital economy by rolling out a digital dinar. The Central Bank of Iraq, by rolling out a central bank digital currency or a digital dinar, this will strengthen the value of the Iraqi dinar, the paper currencies that we have, because they now will be able to know exactly what dinar is in the streets, is in accounts around the world. This is a way for them to rein in the dinar in preparation for the revaluation of the dinar. See, as a central bank digital currency, a central bank, the CBI, they manage their currency, just like every central bank around the world manages their currency. So specifically related to the Central Bank of Iraq, once they're able to manage foreign exchange reserves within the CBI, which are their assets denominated in foreign currencies, whether it's the Turkish lira, the UAE dirham, the US dollar, or digital currencies. This all allows them and enables them to help stabilize the value of the Iraqi dinar. So the Central Bank of Iraq is planning to issue its own digital currency to gradually replace the paper currencies that we have. The CBI's governor, Al-Alaq, had a local press conference recently, and he said this is a part of their radical changes in the global financial banking system. Folks, a digital currency refers to any form of money or payment that exists solely in electronic form, managed and transferred using digital systems. This is not a concern that you must have as if, do we have to wait for this to happen in order for the RV to occur? No, we do not. This is in parallel to our paper currencies. As the global banking systems increasingly go digital, folks, with central bank digital currencies, you'll likely use your foreign currency as you do now, because central banks are using CBDCs amongst each other. Has nothing to do with you and I at the banks. See, as we use digital wallets, for example, to move money, as the CBI rolls out the digital dinar, more Iraqis will use digital electronic platforms. When we had our call with the CBI last Sunday, they informed us that Iraq now, 50% of the population is utilizing digital banking, whereas about 3-4 years ago it was 19%. So they went from 19% to 50% of the population. You must realize, by Iraq doing this, rolling out a digital dinar, this will strengthen the Iraqi dinar for us as well. This allows the Central Bank of Iraq to take back control of the Iraqi dinar. And by taking back control, this allows the global banking system, backed by gold, to help bring the value to the Iraqi dinar to where it truly is. Now, many of us would have already exchanged by the time there is such a global collection of dinars. But leading up to the RV, as Iraq, specifically the Central Bank of Iraq, rolls out digital dinar, this is all in preparation, a prelude that leads up to the revaluation of the Iraqi dinar and the paper currencies we hold. Think of this as preparation. It does not affect any of us that hold paper dinar to the point where we have to have a concern that Iraq is rolling out a digital dinar or a CBDC of their own. It doesn't affect us in a negative way. It affects us in a positive way. You must compartmentalize your thought process on CBDCs. This is Iraq that is rolling out their own CBDC. Has nothing to do with anyone else in any other country. It does not negatively affect anyone in any other country or also anyone's privacy in any other country. It doesn't even affect the privacy of Iraqis, because this is related to wholesale. Central Bank of Iraq doing business with the Central Bank of Vietnam, Central Bank of Venezuela, Central Bank of the United States, or any other central bank around the world. It's central bank transactions directly to other central banks digitally with their own CBDC, central bank digital currency, where central banks will do business with other central banks. That's it. This is a benefit for each of us who holds Iraqi dinar. This is a blessing for anyone that holds Iraqi dinar. We will exchange our currencies in the new digital asset banking system. And all of the changes, regulations, everything is related to digital. The regulations that President Trump is administering, digital asset regulations, which are digital currencies. Look at this. Iraq is administering, rolling out their own digital dinar because they are getting in line with the global new digital asset banking system. It's a blessing. Take it as such. Hello, beautiful people. This is Freedom Fighter. Thank you for tuning into our channel, Goldilocks Global Banking News. Everybody knows that Goldilocks is the #1 source for the RVGCR. People from around the world tune in to see what Goldilocks is sharing on the RVGCR. Don't miss your chance and get your latest updates every day. So like, share, and subscribe to this channel to get your daily podcast from the Goldilocks articles on the RVGCR. Brought to you by Freedom Fighter.